let's have our experts guide us through this first demo and showcase some of the core features of SDX. What I really like is how they will use a single pane of glass to highlight everything that happens to a piece of data across its complete lifecycle, from when it's first ingested all the way to when it's used to train a machine learning model. And before we dig into SDX, I just want to remind everyone that you can drop us a note or ask our experts questions at any time. All right, let's see our first demo.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Gillen. I'm a Senior Solutions Engineer at Cloudera and a Security and Governance Specialist in the team. Today, I will be showing you how Cloudera's Shared Data Experience provides you comprehensive and seamless visibility of your data across the entire data lifecycle, as well as peace of mind through robust, fine-grained security for the protection of your most precious data assets. Let's get started straight away. You find me here at the Cloudera Data Platform homepage, which gives me quick and easy access to all the experiences and tools provided out of the box as part of the Cloudera Data Platform in the public cloud. Today, I'll be taking on the role of a data governance professional at a vertically integrated electric car company. As a data governance professional, I need to be sure that the data used by the business to make critical decisions is of good quality, that the origins of that data are known and tracked through the whole of its lifecycle, and I need to be sure that people are seeing only the data they're allowed to see for the purposes of their role. In my case, I know that our business will be making critical decisions on a new type of experimental motor, and I need to check that everything is in place before the next board meeting. So I'll head into the single source of truth for data across the data platform, which is the data catalog, to check things out. First things first, I need to find the right dataset. I know that my colleagues have created a table with information about our experimental motor, and that this information is being stored as a Hive table. So I'll search for experimental and see what I can find. It returns a lot of different kind of data assets, so I'll click on Hive table to filter it down. This one looks like a likely candidate, and I'll click into it to check what's going on. I can see here a comprehensive view of this table, which tells me everything I need to know about this data asset. This lineage is especially fascinating as it shows me the entire life cycle of this data. Let me just quickly expand this view so I can see the whole thing. So I can see that the data was ingested by, let's see, a NiFi flow. And I can see that these data from the NiFi flow were filtered out to various Apache Kafka topics based on their factory of origin. If I click to show a more detailed view, I can also see that the ingested stream data was combined with CRM and retail data as part of an data engineering process with Apache Spark and Apache Hive, finally landing into this table that we were looking at. So now I'm able to verify where the data in this table has come from, and I can rest assured that any further tables created from this one downstream will be automatically tracked in the same way. No other data platform in the cloud gives me this clear visibility of my data from its origins through to where it lands for use by business analysts. I next need to have a look at the rough shape of this data to check if there are any glaring data quality issues that need further investigation. I can easily do this from the Schema tab in the Data Catalog. The Cloudera Data Catalog comes out of the box with automatic data profilers, which serve several functions. The first is the column profile, which allows me to see at a glance what my data looks like. I can see the number of unique values, I can see max and min, and I can even click into the column to see some basic distribution information, like here. I can look at the distribution of the models of our motor which have been sold, and I can look at some basic distribution data for the sale prices with a nice little box plot on the side. So everything looks fine to me, but if I did notice any glaring data quality issues from this overview, I could get in touch with the data owner so that they could take a look. The second type of automatic data profiler is the sensitivity profile. At our company, we have a data governance process where we manually apply classifications to sensitive data so that we can control access to personally identifiable information. That's what these sensitive classifications are here. But we also have enabled automatic sensitivity profilers through the data catalog to automatically tag sensitive columns according to certain parameters. I can see here, for example, that this column has been identified as a potential email address, and I can accept or reject this provisional classification right here in the data catalog, like this. I can also add my managed classifications here and even specify any attributes according to my internal process. So for example, here I can tag a specific column as sensitive and then specify the type of information contained within, because I have a special way of handling different types of personal information. And this could be done according to your internal governance process. You'll notice that these tags here are gray. To show you why, I have to head back here to my lineage and go look at this customer data table right here. If I click on the schema tab here, you'll see that the sensitive tags are blue. And this is because the tags were actually applied right here at the customer table and were automatically propagated through the lineage down to my enriched motors table. This tag propagation feature is very important. It means that any classification I apply will also automatically carry through to data assets downstream. This gives me peace of mind, and it also massively reduces the level of effort in maintaining comprehensive governance. But what do we actually do with these classifications? Let me head to this policy tab to explain. Cloudera Shared Data Experience integrates the data catalog capability with fine-grained access control provided by Apache Ranger. You can see here a section called Tag-Based Policies. This is where the magic happens. If we take a look in more detail here in the Ranger user interface, you can see that we have it configured so that wherever we see the sensitive tag, regardless of access type, we apply certain conditions for our analyst users who should not be seeing the personal information of our customers. And then, depending on the type of sensitive data, we apply a different kind of data masking, which is easily configurable in this tool. So let's see it in action. I'll head over to Hue, which is a querying interface that comes out of the box with the Cloudera Data Platform. Now, I'm a very privileged user, and you can see that I've run a query to check out some of these sales data on our experimental motors. I can see customers' full details, along with the details of some of their sales orders. Now let me cut to a less privileged user who is part of the analyst group. Now, this analyst likes using Python to access data, and to be honest, that's fine, because the shared data experience is an invisible layer of security that continues to work whatever tool you might be using to access data. This analyst user has run the same query as me, but as you can see, it's returned pretty different results. This is because my tag-based policies have been applied. The user can access the same table as me, can issue the same query as me, but they see a different masked view of that same data based on their assigned privileges. So whereas I could see the full name, I could see the email, this user cannot see the name, they can't see the email. I can verify this behavior back in the data catalog if I navigate back to my enriched motors table and head into the Access Audits tab. Here I can see a full list of all the access against this table, and I can see the operations run by my analyst user. So that's the shared data experience. For me as a governance professional at this electric car company, I am sure that the data used by the business to make critical decisions is of good quality, that we can see exactly where data has come from and where it's going to across the entire data lifecycle. Finally, I am sure that data users in the business are seeing only the data they're allowed to see, only for the purposes of their role. Now let's get to transforming our business for the better.
Hi, I'm John Shea, Director of Product Management for Data Management here at Cloudera. I'm responsible for Cloudera Data Platform's Shared Data Experience, or SDX. In the previous presenter's demo, you saw how SDX helps you connect the data lifecycle within a CDP data lake, and how you can use it to scalably govern and protect data. SDX is that critical piece that connects the data lifecycle from edge to AI. Now, under the covers, SDX is a set of shared services, a data catalog, a policy engine for data access, and subsystems for audit and lineage tracking. These connect the different workloads in your data lake. But SDX isn't just about sharing data within a single data lake. You can deploy multiple CDP data lakes around the world, on-prem or on a cloud like Amazon, Azure, or Google. In this example, we have many CDP environments deployed all around the world. So really the next question or the next challenge is, how do we keep track of all of this? How do we get the same level of understanding I had within one data lake if I have multiple? Is there a way to make this consistent, regardless of whether I'm deployed on-prem, on one cloud, two clouds, or a combination? The answer, of course, is SDX. The same SDX services bring consistent data management and data governance regardless of where CDP is deployed. Your data governance policies, your auditing, and your ability to share data. Our goal is to make it so that the operations are all cloud agnostic by providing a consistent experience regardless of whether you're deployed, regardless of where you're deployed, or on however many clouds you're deployed on. So, I want to highlight some of the capabilities that we've been adding to make multi-cloud and hybrid cloud operations easier. What we do for the data architect and the data user. I'll show you how the data catalog is hybrid and multi-cloud, and thus how we can help you browse and understand your data from edge to AI across all your data lakes. And what do we do for data stewards? I'll talk about how we've integrated with cloud storage to bring consistency with auditable, fine-grained access control policies for cloud storage, specifically targeting Azure's ADLS Gen 2 and Amazon's S3. Hey, we'll also show how easy it can be to pull in data from external sources, AWS Glue in particular, so that you can benefit from the ability to securely share data with consistent audit and access controls from Glue. So let's get started. All right, let me show you how we do hybrid multi-cloud in Cloudera's data catalog. This is the user-facing component that helps make it easy for you to securely share and find your data sets. I'll start off by being a data user, and my goal is I want to find a customer data set that's being used, and I want to understand how it's being used by other people in my organization. I'll do this by hopping over into the data catalog. You can see here, here we have the Cloudera data catalog. And the first thing I'm going to point out is that we have a bunch of different data lakes that are hooked up all at the same time from this one user interface. I have an AWS environment here. I have an Azure environment here. I have a sandbox environment. And I have this cluster 1 CDP-DC 715. This is actually an on-prem cluster. The thing I really want you to notice here is that it's the same interface, whether I'm on-prem or in the cloud. So you can see here an on-prem HDFS path, and I can click on it to get more details. When I look at it, I can say what it is. And I'll notice that, oh yeah, hey, the qualified name, the information tells me that it is an HDFS directory on this particular cluster. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but my goal is actually to find information about customers. So I'm actually gonna search for customer. And, nothing came back. But that's because there's no customer information on this on-prem cluster. I can also see from the data lakes that there's no information on this Amazon cluster or on this Azure cluster, but there are 173 results on this one. If I just click on it, I'll switch contexts, and just with one search, I can get to that relevant data very quickly. And now, if I filter just on the Hive tables, I can search for that customers and see, aha, here is my customers table. So I was very quickly able to search across all my data lakes, whether I was on-prem, so it's hybrid, or whether it was on Amazon or Google. It was just easy. So from the previous presenter's demo, you saw how we tagged and masked data using Hive ETL. But the SDX is more than just Hive ETL. You can actually track the entire data lifecycle. Here I am at the details of the customer table, and I can see the full lineage about this WW customers table. It actually starts from a Twitter feed here. And when I click in to get the more details, I can actually see that was generated by Apache 9.5. I can click further over and I can see that it was ingested into S3 and then turned into a bunch of Hive tables. Over to the right, I can actually see information about what depends on this data. And when I pull it up, I'll show you that I have all that lineage there, but I also have this other branch of ETL happening as well. And if I show more of the details, I can actually click in and find out that this is a Spark process. A Spark process was used to generate this branch of data. These all combine into an ML model build. So here what I've done is I've shown you from edge to AI the entire data lifecycle, how all these pieces were connected from ingest to the AI model. All right, so that was the data user or the data architect's point of view. Let's switch over to what's new and what's unique for data stewards with CDP. As a data steward, I've added the capability to secure data in your data lakes consistently, regardless of what cloud you're on. We made this even better by adding fine-grained access controls to ADLS Gen 2 and to S3. It's actually even more powerful than what you can do natively in those platforms. What's better is that it's all in one place. And the way you modify these policies is the same regardless of which cloud you're on. Here we have the Ranger interface where you can see all the different policies for all the different systems. Now, if I dive into the details, these are the Azure policies. These are the S3 policies. And if I dig into a specific policy, you can see here that I have some Amazon specific things here, a bucket, and then the same kinds of policies below, as I do with Azure. Instead, I have a storage account and a storage container. So consistency across all of these is one major benefit that you get with SDX, our new fine-grained access controls. But wait, there's more. So far, we've focused on things within CDP, but some of the things we've been starting on recently are how we connect to services external to CDP. Now, if I start a new search, you'll notice that we have multiple data lakes here, some of which are prefaced with Glue. This is actually connected to an Amazon Glue service associated with this account. And I can browse the contents just as if it was a CDP data lake, on-prem or in the cloud. I can click on a particular table and browse its schema and look at its types, just like I would for an on-prem table. The one thing that's special is this little register button up here. And if I click on it, it will register this data into my CDP data lake. Entity is not registered. So when I go back and take a look at it again, I'll notice that it has been registered within my cluster. Registered. And when I click on it, it'll actually pull me into my SDX, my CDP environments version of this table. I can see lineage, I can see schema, I can do the same things I would be able to do with any other table in CDP. I can go in here and mark it as a sensitive and save it off. Now this will do the same tag propagation and the same kind of security policies around masking that we had in any other CDP table. Now, when I go into Hue, I can go and I this query as a privileged user, and I'll get salary information exposed. Or I can go in as a less privileged user, someone who's only allowed to see the masked version of this data. And in a few moments, when I run this query again, you'll actually see the value has been masked. Voila. I get the same result back, but now the salaries are masked. Pretty cool, pretty fast. Less than 3 minutes, able to pull that in, start doing work, and starting to secure it. So, what have I shown you? I've shown you hybrid multi-cloud data catalog. The ability to search for data connected to your on-prem clusters or clusters in the cloud. I've shown you that the data catalog allows you to search for your data in CDP anywhere. I've shown you edge to AI lineage. It's not just about Hive ETL. You can actually see data flow lineage, ETL lineage, and MLOps lineage. And then I've just taken it another step by talking about some integrations, fine-grained access control for cloud storage, and the extensibility so that we can go talk to Amazon Glue. Now I'm super excited because we're just getting started, and there's going to be more